This just might be my favorite compact fixed blade so far. It's an Angis Gen2 from Baltic Blades, and it's pretty awesome, so let's check it out. So to start off, this, as already said, is a knife from Baltic Blades, but it's not really the full story, as this, just like all of their other knives, is handcrafted by the craftsman Paulius in Lithuania. That's right. He's a one-man army making beautiful blades like this one, which is pretty awesome. But now, about Angis. This is a 2.5mm thick ELMAX blade with a paracord handle and a Kydex sheath. And you probably can't imagine how light it actually is, as it's a pretty decent size. It's compact, but it's also not that small. As you can see, it fits fairly nicely, and yeah. Has a blade length of about 50mm and a total length of about 130mm, which is a respectable size. But actually weighs only 22 grams, which is pretty insane, as it's about the same as this small Victorinox Classic SD. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And it's also less than the small gummy pack. Just like less than these two Chupa Chups. Pretty insane. So it's about the same as the small Milky Way bar. Yeah. But granted, it's without a sheath. When you put it in, it jumps up at about 34 grams, which is about the same as this pack of candy. So yeah, pretty insane. But even with the compact size, the attention to detail is pretty amazing. As you can see, the sheath fits quite nicely, has a pretty nice blade retention, and does not wiggle, which is quite nice. Also has this nice logo on top, and yeah, looks pretty nice. But when you pull it out, everything looks very thoughtful. As hope you can see it, but on the side has an engraved made in Poland, as well as the blade steel, and the manufacturing date, as well as the batch number. So it's pretty insane, very thoughtful, and very nice attention to detail. Looks super nice. And when it comes to the blade, first off, it came super sharp. It measured in at about 190 on average on my sharpness tester, which is a pretty nice result. It's basically razor sharp, so it's pretty nice. And the cool part is that even here on the edge, it's very thoughtful, as the sharp part starts only about here. So it's pretty safe to hold it like this. This part is not sharp and feels quite nice and safe. Just compare with some of my other knives, like this one. As you can see, the sharp edge starts right on the edge of the blade, and when you put your finger like this, it's basically on the cutting edge, which feels, yeah, quite unsafe. So any wrong finger movement and you basically cut yourself, which is not the case with this one. Feels quite safe, quite nice. This part is rounded, so yeah, feels quite nice. And granted, as this is quite small, has its limits, but for what it is, it feels quite nice. Cuts quite nicely. I tested quite a lot over the holidays and basically handled everything very nicely. As you can see, still cuts very nice. No issues, as well as with a rope. It's just like this, and yeah, no problems. But the only real issue I came across was when cutting things like zip ties. So if you need more pressure, due to the slim handle, the slim body, it really jams around in your hand, and it's hard to handle it when you need the extra pressure. I still can't cut it, and this is the thickest zip tie in my local hardware store, so it's pretty impressive for a blade this small. But yeah, it feels quite wiggly, but it's also not quite an issue, as you always can technically wrap something around it to add extra grip. So if you need the extra pressure, simply do that, and yeah, it's not an issue. But that's more so you know, and yeah, so you're prepared. But when it comes to how to carry it, I usually carry it simply by tossing it in my bag or pocket like this with the sheath, as it doesn't come with any clip. But you can also add a paracord over here, carry it as your neck knife, and due to the lightweight, it will probably feel quite nice. You won't really feel it, as I for some time carried this one, but it weighs about, I believe, 100 grams, so was okay, but this one would be way better for it. And there's also the option to add a clip similar to this one. This one made in Poland, the Zapas Talon, and I believe they had also similar clips on their page that fit the sheath, but yeah, you can check it. But all in all, I really like it. The only real downside I see is the price. It's quite expensive, especially for the size, but this is one of those cases when you simply buy once, cry once, as the quality is pretty amazing. Didn't also show all of these edges are rounded, so feels quite nice. And the jimping on the spine also is quite nice. Could be slightly more aggressive, but this feels quite nice. Quite nice balance for this size. And you do get a handcrafted ELMAX blade, which is pretty awesome, and in my opinion this just might be the perfect knife gift, as I can see it fitting pretty much everyone. As if you like small, compact EDC knives, this is pretty much perfect, but even if you enjoy larger blades, more heavy duty blades, as a secondary blade, you won't really feel it in your bag, in your pocket, or anywhere. So, just in case you need it. It's also pretty perfect, and even for campers or hikers who don't usually carry knives, it's so light, so compact. It's pretty perfect to have at least something. And overall, yeah, it's a really nice knife. So, in case you decide to pick one up, I'll leave the links in the description, and yeah. Just please let Paulius know that you come from me so I can test more of his knives, and yeah, if you liked the review, leave a like, subscribe, and see you next one. Bye!